Okay, Pops, another week has come and gone, and used car prices on the wholesale and, I'll be honest, on the retail side, we have seen them continue to decline. However, the big storyline is the sales rate at the auction. You're going to take a few minutes here and you're going to explain to us why having a 46% sales rate at the auction is a bad sign for the auto industry. We have seen sales rates decline precipitously. What does that mean, and why should we care?
Well, what it means is that of all the vehicles that have been offered for sale at the wholesale auctions this past week, only 46% of them actually sold. Okay, so less than half of the vehicles that have been offered have sold. So that means that the dealers that have the other 54% of the cars, they're still costing that dealer money to have it sit unsold, because more than likely that used vehicle is floor plan. So let's think about this for a second. Let's say you have a vehicle that you bought either through trade or at a wholesale auction yourself for $30,000 when you bought it.
Okay.
And then you had reconditioning fees.
Yep.
Which
reconditioning costs to the dealer.
Reconditioning costs. So the things that you had to do, inspections, repair work that needed to be done to bring it up to make it sale ready for your lot ready. Let's say you spent $1,500.
Okay.
Okay. You're up to $31,500.
Yep.
Okay. Now you have to advertise it.
Yep.
And when you advertise it on cars.com or Car Gurus, it costs.
Yep.
It costs you about, let's call it $200 a month to advertise.
Yep.
So now you're up to $31,700.
Yep.
Okay. And you're actually buying that used car through using the bank's money.
Yep.
It's called floor plan. You have to pay them on a monthly basis. So at $31,700, how much are you paying them? Maybe $300 a month?
Yeah, let's make it easy. 32 grand is what you're into this
car. So now
car.
we're in this car, 32 grand. And every month you get to add another $200 for advertising and another $300 for floor plan interest. So after 1 month, you're in at $32,000. The next month you're in at $32,500.
Yep.
The next month you're in at $33,000, then $33,500. So if after 90 days you have a 90-day turn policy at your dealership that you have to get rid of the car and you take it to the auction and you're really in it for like $33,500 at this point with all your expenses, and it only brings $28,000 at the auction, and you say, well, I'm not selling it. Great. So you just said you're not selling it. Now you might have another month's worth of interest that you're going to pay on it. Now you're up to $33,800. And the amount you're going to get offered for it the next time at the auction, instead of $28,000, might be $27,500. So if you're a dealer that keeps saying, well, you haven't met my minimum, well, your minimum's too damn high, okay? And the amount you're going to get offered is only going to continue to go down, because week after week after week, we are seeing close to a percentage point drop in wholesale values. Black Book estimates that for this year, we will see a 21% decline in the wholesale values of used cars.
For 2022.
For 2022, which is anywhere from 9 to 6 points or 5 points above historical norms.
Yep.
There's nothing that indicates that suddenly we're going to return to what has been historically normal going into next year. So the dealer that doesn't sell is just continuing to add costs to the vehicle that's sitting, waiting to get sold, while the value of it continues to decline. It is like a double-edged sword. He's getting hit on both ends.
Question for you. There's also auction fees, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The auction isn't at the dealership lot, so you have to transport it to the auction. You have to pay fees to get it listed at the auction, correct?
Exactly,
so there's other costs that we're not even covering here, and there may even be a few others that are just slipping our mind.
Well, the transportation fee to get it there, the auction fees to list it, to sell it.
You start factoring in the cost of the
detail fees to get it cleaned so that it looks good when it runs through the lane. Yeah, that's another $1,000.
So to provide even more context as to why this is a big storyline and one that doesn't get enough attention, I mean, we know that used car values are falling, but this could be a new, I'm going to say it, a new bubble of sorts. And the reason I say that is because traditionally, sales rates over the past year at the auction have been anywhere between 60 and 70%. Sometimes they're higher, sometimes they're lower. That's kind of like normal. Look at the slope of this chart, Dad. It has been going down, 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 and now we're at 46%. That means that for the other 54% of dealers that are in the situation you just really did a great job, kudos to you, described, they are just double-edged sword. They could either take a $6,000 loss or they could hope next week it's a $5,500 loss.
When more than likely
it's going to be a $7,500 loss.
Exactly, yes.
Ultimately, you're going to see, as we've seen liquidity, the access to capital to be able to floor plan these vehicles. We've seen curtailments from banks. We've seen...
we just saw the Fed increase their Fed rates again.
We're hard-pressed to not see a future state sometime in 2023 where eventually these cars got to get liquidated. Someone's going to want their cash back, and they don't want it sitting in a depreciating asset that just is becoming more and more underwater.
Now through January 1st, type in gift 50 and get 50% off your YAA Plus membership, or gift 150 to save $150 on your extended warranty. Go to joinyaa.com to save now.
The dealer isn't making any money while he's sitting on the vehicle. The idea when he spent that $30,000 was to have some type of return on investment, to ultimately own the car for $31,500, $32,000, sell it for $35,000, make $3,000. Now he's looking at selling it and losing $6,000 or $7,000. He's got to get more cash so he can buy something that he could actually have a return on investment. This is not the way to do it.
And a huge shout out to our female dealer principals who do the same thing.
Yes. Whether they're male or female. Yeah.
But you are so right, Ted. You have an entire group of dealers who last year, and I'm saying last year in the sense of like 2021 and 2022, made record profits on used cars. Banks that were willing to loan and do things in ways that they aren't right now because interest rates have gone up, now sitting on $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 losses per vehicle.
There are dealers out there that are sitting on inventory that is worth about 20% less than what they bought it for. You know how we talk about customers being underwater on their loans? Dealers
are underwater.
Bingo.
So when does our audience, everyone, we appreciate everyone who's a part of the community, they want to know when's going to be the time to strike. We've told people, and it's here at year end, there are year end car deals. Like, to be very clear, we've seen used car prices that are very negotiable, and our team has helped folks save thousands of dollars on used cars. There are new car incentives that haven't been there this year that have come back. So now's a fine time if you need to buy a car. But there is likely some sort of opportunistic time next year.
Yes.
I don't know if I have a pulse on exactly when that's going to be. I'd say maybe summertime of next year seems reasonable, but just you need to be watching these videos weekly to stay up to date with the information.
It's going to depend on two things. Will the Fed be increasing interest rates some more next year? And they have already said that they will.
Yeah.
So when will that next rate increase be? Because every time there's an increase, it's going to impact car loans. And two, are tax refunds going to be as big this year as they were last year? And my suspicion is that they will not be. And with smaller tax returns coming back to people on higher interest rates, even with those tax return monies, they might not be able to afford to get into that next car.
Yeah.
That to me will be what the big impact is. So if the spring selling season, the anticipated spring selling season, isn't nearly as robust as it has been in the past, I think May, June, July, dealers that have been hoping against hope, which is what it's going to be in most cases, they're going to have to start liquidating at a loss.
All right, folks, well, stay tuned. We do these weekly updates. We'll continue to do it next week, even during the midst of the holidays. This is quite an interesting time in the auto industry because, these dealers, man, someone eventually is going to pay. And hopefully it creates opportunity for us consumers to get some deals because we went through over a year, 18 months of incredible greed in the used car market. Definitely leading indicators that suggest we will. Timing seems still a little bit iffy, but we'll keep our pulse on it.
Yep, there'll be some savings ahead.
Thank you, Pops.
Thank you.